All right, today is day 2 of math enrichment, and today, if you look at week 1 folder, we are going to go to Pythagorean Theorem word problem, that file, and it is actually a file of 4 sheets that you could see if you scroll through here all the way down to 4. We are going to concentrate on worksheet 1. I would suggest that you write this down, because this is going to show you how to do the rest of the worksheets that you'll be assigned to do. We're using Pythagorean Theorem. All of these, I would assume, would make a right triangle, and you probably need to draw the pictures to maybe help you figure out what they're doing. So I'm going to do a few of these. Looks to me like the first few are, maybe the first 3 are all pretty similar. So let's look at number 1, and I am going to draw a picture with that one. So it says Johnny walks 5 miles south. So I'm going to put Johnny right here, and he's going to walk 5 miles south, and then he goes, I'm sorry, it says kilometers, 5 kilometers south, and then he goes 4 kilometers east. How far is he from his starting point? So they want me to put this back here. Now you have to assume that when he's walking south and he takes that turn to walk east, that he takes a right angled turn. And now I've got my Pythagorean theorem I can use, because this is a right triangle. So what is missing is the side opposite the right angle. That makes it C. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write my Pythagorean theorem out here, and I would be having a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Well, a and b are interchangeable. I can use 4 and 5 however I see fit. So I'll just put 4 in for a and 5 in for b, and we'll figure out what c is then. So I go ahead and square them. 4 squared is 16. 5 squared is 25. And there's c squared. Now I must add 16 plus 25. That would be 41 equals c squared. Now he's not 41 kilometers from his starting point. Remember, that is c squared. So we must square root the 41 to get c. So I'm going to do that in my calculator, and I'm going to do square root of 41, and it comes down to 6.403 and some more decimal places. So if I have to answer this question, now that I've shown my work, I'm going to come up here by number 1. How far is he from his starting point? I'm going to round to the nearest tenth, and I'm going to say that he is 6.4 kilometers from his starting point. I would highly recommend rounding to the nearest tenth. Okay, so we are using Pythagorean theorem. Yes, you will have to draw a picture. You'll have to know when he's going north, south, east, west, and what direction you should be drawing that in. It looks like we need to look at some of these other ones, so I'm going to erase this one. Let's look at number 5. A child is playing with a toy which is the shape of a right angled triangle. So here's the toy. I would just go ahead on all of these, draw your right triangle in. It says one arm of the toy is 15 inches and the other arm is 10 inches. Evaluate the third arm of the toy. Well, this one doesn't really tell me which one's the longest side, so I don't think we can do that one now that I've started it. I wouldn't do this one. I remember now that we did take that one off, so I'm going to not do number 5, and you should not do number 5 on any of yours either. Let's go to, we'll talk about Donnie. Okay, it says Donnie rides his car 9 kilometers north. So here's where he's starting, and he's going 9 kilometers north. And then he goes 5 kilometers west. How far from his starting point? And I'm thinking you realize by now, when he went north and he turned for his west turn, it was at a right angle. So we are again looking for the hypotenuse. So we're going to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. we're going to say 5 for A and 9 for B, but remember those are interchangeable, and we're looking for C. So 25 plus 81 equals C squared. And now I'm going to run out of room, so I'm coming up here, and we're going to say that 106 equals C squared. So we know he's not 106 kilometers from his starting point, but we are going to square root this. And at this point, you would be more than welcome to use a calculator. 106, and that would be 10.295, it says. So I look at my hundredths place, and with it being a 9, it makes my tenths place go up. So Donnie would be 10.3 kilometers from his starting point. All right, we're going to scroll down and see what other kind of problems they have on here for us. It looks like that they're expecting you to label the triangles in the picture. So in your homework, you should probably draw the triangle from the paper and put the sides in. I want to see if I can pick one. Let's look at number 7. We've done enough where we were looking for the hypotenuse. On number 7, they aren't drawn in, and it's kind of bad to assume, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you that you can. So my right angle would be there at C. It says that BA is 9. Well, if I look at BA, there's 9. BC is 12, and AC is X. Now, I hope you realize this is not drawn to scale. I can't even imagine why they did that. So I think what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to mark that out, and I'm going to interchange those two. There's no way that the hypotenuse can be 9 with the side being 12, so I think that might be a typo. So we're going to do it like this. If any of yours come up like that, then you have permission to not do those, because there's no way it's going to work. So let's do this problem. I'm going to say x squared plus 9 squared equals 12 squared. X squared plus 81 equals 144. Now I need to get x squared alone, so I'm going to subtract 81. And when I subtract 81, x squared equals 63. So I've got a square root 63, and when I do that, I get x equals 7.937. So again, I'm going to round to the nearest tenth. So the 3 is what I look at. It's below 5, so I would say this side is 7.9. All right, that is the end of it. I want you to go ahead and label these, draw your pictures. Don't do number 5, and if you come into one like number 7 like that, then you have permission to not do that one. Okay.